Hey guys, welcome back to the Weekly Juice. It's Chris here with my brother Dylan.
Finally, it's finally good to be back. I'm sorry for everything. I couldn't be here because of some bad timing.
He got some technical difficulty. Either way, last week was really bad with scheduling. I had work. Dylan was off doing his own thing, and Kevin was nowhere to be found. So, without further ado, I know I promised endgame spoiler talk today, so that's what we're going to be doing today on the Weekly Juice. So, without further ado, let's jump right into the first 20 minutes, which I said in my spoiler free talk is within the trailers. Kevin Feige was not lying that pretty much the first 30 minutes, 20 minutes was all in the trailers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which I honestly liked because the whole movie was a surprise. Twists and turns at every corner. Kevin was right. I know Kevin's not here to talk about it, but remember he said when we did our predictions that the first 20 minutes or the first 10 or 15 minutes were going to do with saving Tony. And he was also right with, I think, Captain Marvel saving him because I said Tony was going to build his own way home, which he didn't.
I I don't remember what I said. Well, I'll probably just look back at it.
I don't even think you said anything. I think you were just doing it.
Just
I don't know. I think you were on Instagram or something.
Oh, I was trying to find like other topics. That's why.
Oh, yeah. So once you get past the 20-minute mark and Tony comes back, he says something that goes right back to Age of Ultron.
Not only that,
And
but also like Civil War.
Civil War and everything. And he's like, you said you'd be there and you weren't. We needed was a suit of armor, and you're no longer my best
around
friend.
the world.
No, yeah. And pretty much, I felt that scene when he was just like, where were you? And he's like, you know what? When you face him, take this. And he takes his arc reactor off, and he hands it to Steve, and he's like,
well, hold on.
Hide.
Right there with the arc reactor. Now we know, because I thought that he like
You surgically put it back in?
I thought he put it back on. Because in the trailers, when we first didn't know anything about it was just the arc
right
reactor.
On his chest where
it was the arc reactor, and then it was covered by a black tank top or whatever that is.
True. The jacket.
Yeah, that too, man.
And
he just takes it off.
Oh, yeah. So, that scene, I was just like, damn. Like, you really feel Tony there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this is where I have a little issue with it. I just had an issue with it a few days ago. He did not want to call Steve in the beginning of Infinity War.
That's
so
true.
He cannot say, where were you? Because he didn't even attempt to call.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, he closed the phone when Ebony Maw...
because Steve doesn't really have a way of getting in contact with Tony. But with that phone, he probably could have called too. So technically, it could have gone both ways.
True. It could have gone both ways. And either way, he lost the kid. We both lost. That was a really touchy moment too. Rocket Raccoon losing everybody. Nebula.
And her showing emotion. That's like what, the third time maybe that she showed emotion.
Very good character development for Nebula, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if you saw that on Instagram, but there's this, I guess, what are they called? Page. There's this page. Sorry,
there's this Instagram page.
Yeah, there's this Instagram page that I follow about like Marvel stuff, and it said that either the Russo brothers or Kevin Feige said that one Marvel character might be gay, and I think I wanted to start because I know we're going like off track, but I'm thinking it's Nebula.
Nebula.
I think Nebula could be the gay one because I mean she rarely shows emotions with guys if you really think about it, and with what's
her sister Gamora.
With her females, she like shows emotions. Starting with Gamora.
I think that gay character that you're referring to will be revealed in Phase 4.
Probably.
More than likely. Because I hear, and Phase 4 will be another topic for the next podcast.
Yes.
I'm just going to say this, but Phase 4 will probably be more world building. I won't expect another Avengers-like team-up movie for Phase 4. So, skipping up the 20-minute mark, which is pretty much everything in the trailers. Tony telling Steve to pretty much F off. Uh, where
And
were you, my best friend?
Ant-Man coming back.
Well, that's where I'm getting to.
Yeah.
Is after you enter the 20-minute mark, you go to Thanos, you kill him off pretty much in the first half of the movie.
Can I just say that? Bravo to Marvel Studios. Because I don't know how the heck they got away with it.
Dude,
because it's Disney. And they just show
a
off.
beheading.
Yes, exactly.
That was insane. And I remember in the theater, we're just like,
dude, me and you.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, exactly.
It was crazy because I did not expect him to kill Thanos, to be honest. I thought they were going to, like, imprison him or something.
Yeah.
And no, Thor just casually just chops off his head. He's like, I went for the head.
That was a subtle joke, but
Like,
it was like at the wrong time.
Oh yeah, I mean it was crazy because they go back to fight him to find the stones, which he actually ended up using to destroy the stones. And I was gonna say when they go back, Thanos looks more messed up than what he did at the end of Infinity War.
Well,
Due to that reason.
Yeah.
So his arm looks really thin and looked really gross, to be honest. I did not like the way Thanos looked, but. I wish
it looked like an avocado face fucked
Oh.
another avocado.
Oh man, you know what's gonna be funny? Because I hear Deadpool is gonna stay Ryan Reynolds, and I'm pretty sure Ryan Reynolds is gonna fight for Josh Brolin to stay as Cable. How many Thanos jokes in the MCU are gonna happen with Deadpool?
Oh my god, that's another topic for Phase 4.
No, yeah,
So,
that's another topic for Phase 4.
just
So-
a slower roll.
You kill Thanos, 5-year time jump. Thank you for Master Splinter for saving Ant-Man from the quantum realm.
Nah, bro, Ratatouille. What are you talking
Ratatouille.
about?
Oh yeah, because it's Disney.
exactly.
So Ratatouille. So Ratatouille comes out of nowhere and is like beep bop boop boop boop, and pretty much out comes Ant-Man. Which, here's my problem with that scene. Later on, and I know I'm making a big jump here. Later on in the Avengers final battle, Ant-Man says he can't charge up the quantum tunnel because the battery's dead.
Like the car battery?
Yeah,
or-
like the car battery. So, it's been 5 years. That van has been sitting there for 5 years. Now, I don't know if the car battery needs to have the car on for everything to work, but to me it just seemed as like a plot hole there. Either way, thanks to that rat, because without that rat, we wouldn't have this movie.
Well, I got another, I guess, not plot hole, but more like a mistake, but I'll talk about it when we get to it.
Get to it. Alrighty. So, yeah, man, Ant-Man comes out, he starts freaking out, he's like shouting for Hope and Hank, and they're nowhere to be found. In fact, he's in this like storage unit, and then we see, what's his name?
I forgot. Do you want me to look it up?
Yeah, look it up. It's I know he comes out in The Hangover.
Yeah.
He's one of
You
the
fuck on
most
me?
yeah. He's one of the most famous like Asian comedians, and I remember sitting there in the theater, and some dude was just like, "Haha, S-A-way." Remember?
Yeah. Okay, I can't really pronounce it right. It's the Ken Jeong.
Ken Jeong, yeah, he came out in Transformers: Dark of the Moon too,
Yeah.
and all that. No, yeah, so he's there. Then he's like, "Hey, help me!" And then he lets Scott out, which Scott ends up going, and he sees all the names of the people that are now confirmed to be the Vanished. So if there's something that's officially confirmed from everything that happened, it would be, it's not I guess it could still be the Decimation, but they're calling everybody who'd passed the Vanished.
I mean,
Which is-
what else would you call? What would you call them? The decimated.
The Decimated.
That's
The
kinda messed
disappeared. The happening.
up. The happening.
Yeah. So he ends up finding out that his daughter is still alive. So he goes, he hugs her. He's like, "Hey, you're all grown up." This and that. He doesn't say that, but he
Look
sees
how
her
big
all,
you got.
yeah.
But okay. And Ant-Man and the Wasp. How old is she? She's 8, right?
Is she?
I think something says that she's 8. I could look it up real quick. But let's just say that she is a what or not what?
So if
How
she's
old
8,
is
that means
Cassie?
she would have. Didn't they say she's like 15 in Endgame?
Yeah.
So she's 8. Literally 7 years would have to pass in order for her to be 15.
Yeah, that's why she's supposed to. Okay, let's say she is 8. She's supposed to be 8 plus 5. What is that? 13.
I'm not good at math.
Use your fingers.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, 13. I literally
Yeah,
use my
look, see
fingers.
right here. There's I'm on this website and it says age 15.
Peanut.
Yeah. Well,
No,
I
yeah.
mean, they're more focusing on like that time jump.
No, yeah, the time jump. It's okay. You know what? Spider-Man Homecoming messed up the timeline either
Yeah,
way, you know.
that's
Like,
true.
I mean, 8 years later, right?
Mm-hmm. Everything can't be perfect.
No, yeah. Anyway. So Scott's like, you know what? Let me take quantum realm technology to the Avengers, see if we could do some time travel stuff, because it was only like 5 hours for me and it was 5 years for you guys.
That's
Oh.
crazy.
Janet was there for 30 years, but aged like 30 years or 50 years or something, no? When she was
Yeah.
stuck in the quantum realm. So 5 hours, 5 years.
You gotta remember,
It doesn't-
he's way. She was stuck in there for
a long, and I think she
decades.
went farther than maybe. Who knows? Who knows what the quantum realm does to you? We'll just ask her and wait for Ant-Man and the Wasp, or Ant-Man or Wasp, or Hank Pym the movie, something like that, just to tell us. So he goes to the Avengers headquarters, and that's like pretty much one of the 10% of the trailers or 1% of the trailers that wasn't in the first 20-30 minutes, which would be him going, he's like, hey, can you guys buzz me in? I'm here. I'm Ant-Man. You guys met me once.
You remember me?
No, yeah. So then Steve and
Black
Natasha, Black Widow, let him in, and he's like, we could undo this if we do the quantum realm, and he steals Black Widow's peanut butter sandwich.
I was actually gonna say that if you weren't gonna make the joke.
So then they all decide, you know what? We're not that smart. Let's take this to somebody who is. So who do they go to? They go out to upstate to a cabin, lakeside cabin, that is none other than Tony Stark's, which he moved on. He got married, and
Had a child.
dude, when
She's so adorable.
when I found out that he had a kid, at first I was like, "Oh, he got a dog." I was like, "Oh, how
Yeah,
cute!"
I remember you saying that.
I was like,
you saying
"He got a
that thing.
dog? No way, that's cute." But then this little girl with the rescue helmet comes out. She's like, "Freeze!" And then he's like, "You want some lunch?" She's like, "Define lunch," or get extinguated or extinguished or
Dude,
something.
she's
like.
so adorable. She's probably the highlight of that movie.
Oh,
right
man.
there.
I love you 3000. Oh man, I wouldn't know how much those words meant and how much it hurt me to see and hear that as a fan of Iron Man, especially because Iron Man's my favorite superhero. It didn't hurt me then, but it hurt me later on. So anyway, going back to it, he picks up his daughter Morgan, which they did name Morgan after his late uncle or something like that.
Pepper Potts' late uncle, I believe.
No, yeah. So when he's going back to the cabin, he sees them pull up in this really nice looking.
What was it like?
It's an Audi. I just don't know this.
That's been a new dude. That movie was
Dude,
basically a
I know,
commercial.
for Audi.
Yeah.
Dude, those Audis though, I really wanted them.
Nice.
Anyway, so they talk to him, and he's pretty much telling them no. Like, there's no freaking way I'm gonna do this. There's no logical way that we're gonna be able to use the quantum realm to do this. And here's what I think, to be honest, because later on you see that he's fiddling around with something and he breaks it. He breaks the code and he figures out time travel. I'm pretty sure throughout the 5 years, not only was he developing suits for Pepper Potts, for Rhodey and himself, but he was trying to figure out time travel because he does say guilt ate him alive. And he also says that he could wish he could just lock it up and throw it in the middle of the lake or the middle of the ocean and just be done with it.
So in those 5 years, he's attempted to crack the
I
code.
think so, because there's no freaking way that, like,
He can't just solve it like that. I mean, I know he's a genius. But
but I mean, I get moving the story along quickly, but I'm pretty sure he fiddled with the whole time travel thing for a while.
Is time travel. It's not only affecting one planet; it's going to be affecting others.
Yeah, especially because he's like, shit.
Yeah. I finally did it.
Yeah, that scene was so funny too.
And then Morgan,
shit. No, you can't say that word. Mom claimed it already.
It
That's
belongs
her
to
word.
her. God, I want to see it again.
I do want to see it, especially seeing it twice already.
Yeah.
That movie was it's amazing, and I'm so happy that it's like this close. Like it's literally like a hair away from beating Avatar for the most box office record ever, and I'm really excited about that. Moving on, you get that I Love You 3000 scene. He tells Pepper that he cracked the code, and he's like, I could lock it up right now. I could stop right now. And he's pretty much just asking her permission.
Yeah.
And she tells him, Tony, one of my biggest failures in life is trying to get you to stop.
That was pretty powerful there. That was like really powerful. So
after that scene, you get Tony Stark racing in this badass freaking Audi. It's the e-tron. I don't know what version, or if it's like the first of its time or whatever. Really nice.
Hold on. You're going way too
far. Oh, yeah.
Because
I forgot about it.
Okay, because you're missing your
totally forgot about
after Cap, Natasha and Ant-Man talk to Tony, and Tony says no. So they go to the next guy,
brain,
which is
Bruce Banner,
aka technically Professor Hulk, but we never heard it. We just called him. They just heard Hulk.
That was probably one of my biggest gripes of the movie, is not seeing the merge of Hulk and Bruce Banner becoming one.
It makes sense, but
they literally just brushed over 18 months in the Gamma Lab and got the best of both worlds, baby.
Hold on, do you wanna talk about the challenge that we?
Yeah. Okay. So in that scene, they're having breakfast with Professor Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
And in that scene, you have that little scene. They just revealed the clip. You guys could go watch it. I'll probably leave a link in the description down below. He pretty much takes a selfie with some kids. Takes a selfie. He gets a picture
with some kids
that are fans Scott Lang got a little bit jealous because they didn't know who Ant-Man was, and then they make a little scene. But point is, they're eating breakfast with Professor Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Dylan want to do this.
And
take it away.
But this is only we want to do it. We want to know how if you guys want to see it. So give us a thumbs up. Leave us some comments saying if you want to see us or not. But we want to do a challenge where we eat what Professor Hulk was eating in the movie, which was eggs, a big bowl of eggs.
A big bowl, like a huge bowl.
Sausage. Obviously, my brother doesn't like sausage, so we can sub half and half bacon and sausage, because I don't mind sausage. It's pretty good. I like it. No homo. And you didn't hear that. And pancakes. So drop a like, give us a comment saying if you want to see us do it or not.
Like Professor Hulk breakfast challenge.
Yes. And what was I going to say? Depending on how well you do, we will try and send this video out ASAP for you guys to enjoy.
No, yeah. Because that's something that we really do want to do.
That was the first thing, or not the first, but that was like the second or third thing I wanted to do after I walked out of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
We were driving home.
That was crazy. Like, we were just like, hey, man, that was a lot of food. You want to try that? Mm-hmm. Well, so you get that Professor Hulk scene. they go back to the Avengers headquarters. They mess around with the quantum realm time travel aspect
With Ant-Man.
with Ant-Man, which turns into a baby. He turns into an old man, comes back as himself, and he's just like, I don't know who pooped myself.
But either way, it's me.
So they don't know what happened, and then that's where we get that scene
when
where Tony comes in, and he's like, let me guess, he turned into a baby, like all cocky and everything. Like he's like, I already told you so.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, who could have stopped you from doing that? Oh wait,
yeah,
me.
Yeah, you pushed time through him. You didn't push him through time.
No, yeah.
I just want to give an applause for the Russo brothers and the script writers for actually taking the time.
I heard
they actually studied.
Talked to physicists, and they actually went and tried to figure out real theories about time travel. So that's why in this movie they make fun of Hot Tub Time Machine, Back to the Future. You get a whole bunch of references to time travel movies.
Not even Disney movies.
No,
either.
yeah.
None
So
a rated R movie.
Oh yeah. So
you're saying Back to the
So
Future?
it's so funny because Winter Soldier, Sebastian Stan, actually comes out in Hot Tub Time Machine.
Does he? I haven't seen it.
Oh yeah. So he does come. He comes out in that movie, and I think a few other characters come out in some other ones.
Wow, I couldn't see it.
So pretty much Tony's like, you know what, Cap, let's do this. I'll help you out because guilt is a bitch in a sense, and that it just eats him up alive, and he doesn't like it. So he doesn't want to lose what he has. All he wants to do is gain what he lost, which is pretty much Spider-Man and everybody else who died within the 5 years, or vanished, I should say. But remaining what he has in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So he gives Cap, because I was going to say Captain America, but
he gives Cap his
shield and he's like, but don't tell anybody because I don't have enough for anybody. So then the funniest thing is tacos.
Oh,
Ant-Man is going to eat some tacos outside of Avengers HQ.
I thought you were going to say, I didn't know Deadpool came out in the movie. Not going to lie. Yeah, I was kind of sad when that happened. Some ruined tacos.
Oh,
Those look good, too.
So pretty much everybody comes in because I don't know who tweeted. They were like, hey, we're getting the band back together. Because next thing you know, War Machine pops in, Nebula and Rocket Raccoon.
And Hulk leaves with Rocket Raccoon.
No, yeah, to go get Thor. Which we know is now super depressed about everything that's happened. And took his depression to the farthest lengths, which, I totally get this.
Yeah, it gives him a human personality.
No,
trait.
Yeah, it does.
We all do that. You can't get.
And
that.
I do like the Thor character. I don't like what they did with his physical aspect.
Okay, we're not in the
we're
spoiler
not gonna.
free, so.
No, yeah, I know. I'm just.
You're
waiting.
Teasing.
I'm waiting to reveal that Thor is actually fat in this movie. Do not expect him to be ripped.
Fat. He's
and
not
fit.
fat. He's chunky. He's chunky.
He's a chunky boy.
You remember, Gabriel Iglesias is like five
layers of fat.
5 levels of fat.
No, yeah. Well, he got a beer gut.
Oh,
he got a big.
Weird thing is
beer
that
gut.
he kind of still had his abs.
No,
I don't know if you saw that.
It was weird.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know you could be fat and have abs. Like I.
Oh
I
dude, I follow some bodybuilders on Instagram. And there's this one dude. He's a bodybuilder and he's fat, but he has a 6-pack. Look here, I'll try to show you right now.
Well, either way, so we find out that he's drunk. He's a drunk, playing Fortnite with Korg and Meek, and Noobmaster69 is one of their biggest bullies. Props to Noobmaster69 if you're out there and you listen to us.
Dude, honestly, I want to look it up on PlayStation because I know they were playing on PlayStation.
No, yeah. So they ask Thor to come to beat Thanos, and that's where Thor gets his like PTSD, depression. He's like, "Don't say that name."
Yeah.
Like he literally grabs onto Hulk, and Hulk's like, "Dude, let go of me. Come on."
No, dude, look. Okay, look. This is what I'm talking about right
here. Okay. Cool. It looks like he's from Game of Thrones.
No, but he's friends with the guy from Game of Thrones.
No, yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm a little bit congested. I'm battling a sickness right now. I might be getting the flu or the cold or whatever. Either way, I'm here talking about Endgame.
So
So
drop a like.
they convince Thor to come back with beer on the ship. He's like,
Yeah.
okay.
Which is
So
also
then-
relatable.
So then they come back to Avengers HQ, and
They're gonna test out their first suit, but instead
Ant-Man
of
is scared. So Hawkeye
Hawkeye,
goes because he has pretty much nothing else to lose. That's what I forgot to say.
at the
It's
beginning,
that it opens up. The movie opens up with the vanishing of his family. He's having a picnic with his wife and his kids, and next thing you know, poof,
that was very sad.
dude!
That
It
was a
was
sad way
like
to
the
start
darkest opening that I've seen in a while. So, kudos to the Russos for messing with my feelings the whole freaking movie.
And then okay, so Hawkeye
Goes back.
Ronan goes. He does it. He goes back in time. He
Oh,
brings
yeah.
back something to prove that it works.
I think it's funny because in that moment where he goes back in time, he calls out for his daughter, and his daughter comes out, and she's like, "Yeah, Dad."
Looking for him.
And the funny thing is this has happened to me, where I'm home, and I hear Dad or Mom
Yeah,
call me,
yeah.
and then I walk up to them, I'm like, "What's up?" And they're like, "I didn't call you."
Yeah.
I'm just like, what?
Yeah, that happens to us all the time.
I'm just like, now it makes sense. You guys are time traveling, huh, Mom and Dad? You just call me.
You, they're superheroes.
So I just thought it was funny because I was like, hey, that happens to me.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so he comes back, they figure it out, and then they start debating on what times to go to get the stones. So they're pretty much going through times.
They all have
Infinity
specific
War
teams.
school.
Yeah.
What does this stone do? Where does this stone at this time and this and that? Blah, blah, blah. So then they end up finding out that there's 3 stones in New York, 2012.
Yeah.
There's 1 or 2 stones that they could get in 2014, which is the Power Stone and the Soul Stone.
Yeah.
And the Ether is back in, what year is it? 2013?
The
With the Dark
Reality
World?
Stone.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Well, technically it's 2013, but they never say.
No, yeah, they do. They
Do
do
they really?
2013. Remember, it's a
I
big
don't-
title card.
We're gonna have to see the
Oh,
movie.
we're
again.
gonna have to go again,
You know.
We gotta do our research,
It's not like I'm trying to make Endgame beat Avatar or anything.
No, I know. So they find out that the Mind Stone, the Space Stone, and the Time Stone are all in New York. So they make teams because they don't have enough Pym particles to go back in time. Technical difficulties. Pym particles are what they need in order to time travel, but since Hank Pym is no longer alive, he cannot create more for the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I get a little bit upset with this. Tony Stark is a freaking genius. He should have been able to create more. Sorry. It's not
I mean,
rocket
if he can
science.
figure out time travel.
I'm pretty sure he could have created more Pym particles.
Yeah.
Within the hours before their mission. Anyway, so they go back. They have their teams. They have their missions. Captain America gives this really amazing speech saying,
Whatever it takes.
whatever it takes, watch each other's backs, take care of each other out there. So they go to the Battle of New York to get all 3 stones. Hulk meets the Ancient One, gets the Time Stone. They lose the Space Stone, which goes back with Loki, meaning they create a new timeline, which I think that new timeline will be the Disney Plus Loki series.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah.
I thought you were gonna say the what if.
No, the Disney, because Loki's getting his own series. Wanda and Vision are getting his new series.
Bucky and
Bucky and
I was gonna say Bucky and Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier
Same.
and Falcon.
So they create the new timeline with Loki disappearing with the Space Stone. So Iron Man and Ant-Man fail their mission in getting that stone, which causes Tony and Steve
to go back.
to go back in the 1970s to get more Pym particles and the Space Stone. Also, within 2012, Captain America does fight himself. And it was the funniest thing because you could tell that he's so fed up with the way that he used to be.
I can do this all day.
He's like, yeah, I know.
That's America's ass.
Oh, yeah. America's ass. Captain America's butt cheeks.
Dude, but that elevator scene.
Oh,
There
dude,
was
I swear.
so much tension. Right
I thought he was going to say, so before we start, does anybody want to get out?
Yeah, I thought that too. And then, like, I wowed.
Oh,
when he said Hail Hydra.
Oh, yeah, when they pulled that
thought,
comic book moment.
Yeah, because I thought they were going to reenact Winter Soldier.
Oh,
again.
yeah, me too. I was like, no freaking way. That's cool. But no, they didn't. Captain America fights himself. What else happens? So then they go back to the 70s.
Tony.
Tony talks to his dad and hugs him. And it's like...
it's because he doesn't know that it's his son.
His son, yeah, or anything.
That's when he's about to be born.
Oh, yeah. It's insane.
Yeah.
But he gets that closure with his dad. He's like, you know what, Dad? You're not that bad.
Obviously doesn't say
you.
dad.
Thank you.
But, and then...
Howard Potts.
Oh, yeah. And then Cap, what does he do? He gets the Pym particles.
No, yeah.
And then he bumps into Peggy Carter's office.
Oh, yeah. He walks into Peggy Carter. I honestly thought she was going to walk in on him.
I did too.
I was like, oh,
I was
crap.
like, please don't. Please don't.
I was like, oh, crap. No, but he just sees her out of a window, and I guess that's where he starts thinking about what happens at the end of the movie, which is him staying back in time.
They leave.
They leave. Then Thor and Rocket's mission was to get the ether. Thor leaves Rocket. Rocket gets the ether by probing Natalie Portman.
And then
Thor talks to his mom, gets that
Mjolnir.
closure, and he's like... And then his mom's like, you know what, it does take a second. And takes Mjolnir.
Mjolnir.
Meow meow. Thor's hammer. Yeah. It takes Thor's hammer.
His OG hammer.
Back to the present. And back in 2014, War Machine and Nebula, they take the Power Stone. But this is where things get hiccuped. Because Nebula shares the same network with her past self.
Yeah.
So then, previous Thanos, 2014 Thanos, finds out about the mission to reverse what he had already did. Which pisses him off. So... when War Machine takes the Power Stone, Nebula is about to, but she can't because her systems malfunction, which ticks me off because she could have easily done it when she got back into consciousness instead of warning a Black Widow and Hawkeye. She could have just went back into time, back into our time, but then again,
would have been fine.
But then again, there would be no movie.
True.
So they reverse engineer Pym particles. That's why the ship and all his army are able to shrink and travel into the future when past Nebula brings them back into the future.
Disguises them.
So now
we're missing a part.
About the Soul Stone. Yeah. But like I was gonna say is now we know why that orange piece is on Nebula. So that way we could tell which was the future Nebula and which was the past Nebula.
I thought it was just rust.
Me too. So yeah, Soul Stone. Sad scene. I teared up. And I was like...
It's only sadder because we all knew what was going to have to go down.
No, yeah. So, Hawkeye and Black Widow go. And we both knew what was going to happen. One of them was going to have to make that sacrifice. So they end up fighting. And Hawkeye's like, you know what? You win. And then he tricks her, and then he tries to jump himself, and then she jumps with him. She grabs something from his belt. Like, it's pretty much like a freaking utility belt from Batman, and she launches it up, and then they're both stuck on the hillside, and Clint grabs her, and then she's like, just let me go. And you could see the tears in Clint's eyes. He's just like, no, not you. Let me do this. But Black Widow did it because he literally has the chance to see his family again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've been gone for 5 years, but he has that chance. Black Widow,
she's still mysterious. We still don't know much about her.
She has. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. Phase 4.
Mm-hmm.
She has the family with the Avengers. That's pretty much all she's had. And it was so sad to see her go because her only family now has to go on without her.
Mm.
So she sacrifices herself, jumps down,
Hawkeye
pretty much like shoves her hand out of Hawkeye's hand and just falls to her death, which was so sad. I remember tearing up and I was just like...
I teared up too.
So then Hawkeye wakes up with the Soul Stone and then he travels back and then they have that little moment scene.
Mm-hmm.
And Hulk is so pissed. Like, he throws a bench. And they're like, oh, well, we could just bring her back when we snap everybody back. And Hawkeye's like, no, that's not what the red dude said. And this and that. I wanted him to say Red Skull so bad. But at the same time, Clint has no idea who the Red Skull is. Yeah. Because he was vanished. Mm-hmm. And... everything from Captain America First Avenger was pretty much on ice with Captain America. Yeah. So it would have been cool to see what happened when Captain America returned the Soul Stone.
Everyone's speculating about that.
That would have been so funny.
Okay, so they have the little grieving moment, and then they realize they gotta finish this. They gotta do it for her.
No, yeah.
And for everyone else. So they make the nano gauntlet. That's what everyone's calling it. I don't know if that's officially what it's called, but I'm just gonna call it the nano gauntlet because that's pretty badass.
No, yeah, it is badass.
And okay, so they make the gauntlet.
They put all the stones in there.
Rocket makes a little joke saying "boom."
They all freak out. Tony's just like, "Really, dude?" Like,
honestly, I don't understand why he'd be mad because he would have done something like that too.
Probably. I think it's just funny banter when Tony's like, "All right, Ratchet."
Yeah, and then okay, now they're debating
on who's gonna snap their fingers to bring everybody back. Thor's like, "It should be me. I'm the strongest Avenger," and everybody's just like, "Dude, you're in no place," and he gets all butthurt. And then Hulk is like, you know what? It should be me. I was made for this. The radiation that comes off the Infinity Stones is mostly gamma. Mm-hmm. So he puts it on, and he starts dying immediately. No, I'm kidding. My foot fell asleep. So he starts, like, receiving all the energy from the power of the stones and everything, and he's, like, screaming in agony. A lot of Avengers are...
But he has enough strength to have...
To snap his fingers, you know, they tell him to take off the gauntlet and everything, and then they kick it aside, and brings back life, as you could tell from the tree and the bird, and Ant-Man's just like, it worked.
But while this happens,
Nebula brings back previous Thanos, and the ship expands and everything, and then he shoots missiles at Avengers HQ, which ends up blowing it to bits and pieces, which would get the most epic final battle in the history of MCU, in movie history, whatever.
Just in general. Just in history.
I just love it so much. Hawkeye gets stuck in the tunnels. He has to fight Outriders just to get
which was a really great scene.
No, yeah.
Because it was like a creepy factor a little bit.
You know, Rocket Raccoon, War Machine, and Hulk are pretty much drowning. Ant-Man has to save them. In that moment, it's the big three, the Tres Amigos,
staring at Thanos,
and they go to fight him. This is where you see the Mark 85 with his new weapon. Thor charges him up. Just an amazing three-way battle between them. Hulk. Iron Man gets thrown off to the side. He knocks out for a few because you see Friday. He's like, "Wake up, boss," or she's like, "Wake up, boss."
Thor fights him. I guess
he does all right, but I feel like he's still like on that vengeance mission that he got. His feelings got in the way of the fight, which almost led to him dying.
Oh,
Because Thanos grabs his axe and pretty much almost like puts it in his chest.
and kills
And the
him.
most epic scene in the MCU happens. Pretty much going back to that reference in the Age of Ultron where he almost picked it up.
Well, no, I'll say it afterwards.
Go for it.
Okay, well, if you guys haven't seen it, I don't know why you guys are listening to this in the first place. But, okay.
Oh, yeah, spoiler warning.
Yeah. Cap calls Mjolnir to him, and he throws it and hits Thanos in the back, and it saves Thor's life. But
Amazing.
which is phenomenal. But I read something that said I think it was the Russo brothers that said Cap was always worthy of picking up Mjolnir, but the reason he didn't pick it up in Age of Ultron was because of his ego.
His ego to Thor.
Yeah, because of Thor's ego.
I don't think that's true. I just think that the Russo brothers are trying to say something that isn't true. I feel like the reason why he could pick it up now is because his biggest secret was hiding Tony Stark's parents' death.
That's true.
That was one of the reasons what made him unworthy, in my opinion. Because, I mean, hey, if my best friend killed my other best friend's parents and I kept that secret, that wouldn't make me worthy of anything. That would just mean I'm keeping a deep, bad, dark secret from my best friend. So that's what I feel about. But finally seeing him wield Mjolnir was just amazing. You get that battle with him and Thanos.
Oh, okay. So we're at the part with their mistake. Okay, so I talked to you about this.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to talk about it?
You go for it.
Okay. So while Thanos is close to killing Thor with his own axe, he's pushing Thor's axe into his chest, and he's getting closer and closer, and then that's when... keep in mind that Thanos is holding Thor's axe, but when Captain America throws Mjolnir, he gets hit, then Thanos turns around, and all of a sudden he's holding his...
double-edged sword.
Yeah, his dual double-edged sword. And then that's when he goes charging at... I was going to say Hulk. Charging at Captain America.
That could be easily fixed, but the thing is, was his double-edged sword even on the ground?
I think it was far away from him. I don't remember.
So I don't remember either, but that is a little plot hole there. Very good eye.
It's because people were already posting it on Instagram, and I was scrolling, and I
okay.
just looked at it, and that's when I noticed it, and then that's when
I
sent
didn't notice
to you.
it until you told me,
Mhm.
and then I watched that scene again. So then you get that epic scene with him fighting, Captain America fighting Thanos. Captain America's shield gets broken by Thanos, and it was like literally, I was like, "Oh crap! They're gonna die! They're gonna die!
Which
they're
makes
gonna
me
die!
wonder-
They're gonna die!" Because of that scene in Age of Ultron where Tony's vision seeing everybody dead, and that
Cap
shield was looking exactly like how it was broken in that scene, in that vision, I should say. So then he pretty much Thanos knocks Captain America off to the side, and then
gets
Captain.
back up.
And I thought he was gonna say I could do this all day. I thought he was gonna say
but
that.
then that was kind of too...
No, cliche. So then he gets up, he tightens up his shield, and I honestly thought that he was gonna say something like from the comic books, like, where he was like, "As long as one person stands up against you, Thanos,
You will never win.
you'll never claim victory."
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna say that, but then out of nowhere, you hear Falcon, and he's
Hold
like,
up. Because that's when... Okay, in that scene, that's when Thanos has all of his army behind him. Not just the Outriders, but he has the Chitauri. He has the Black Order.
The Black Order,
because
and he's
keep
got
in
these
mind
new
that's-
like gorilla-looking monsters too.
Yeah, we've never seen before. But I think they're Chitauri too. Okay, so he has all of his Chitauri army. He has all of his Outriders with him. And then he has his Black Order. So, that's when Cap stands up, tightens his shield, and then... I thought he was going to die right there.
No, yeah, me too. I was like, oh crap, here we go.
Yeah, and then that's when we hear Falcon say, "Hey Cap,
on your left.
And then that's when
Going back to when they first met,
Winter Soldier.
on your left. Don't say it. Don't say it. On your left. And then all of a sudden these portals just keep opening, and then you see Black Panther, and then you see Falcon,
Basically,
and then you
everyone
see
that died
everybody,
in Infinity War came back.
and everybody that could fight. I heard that you see Howard the Duck.
Yeah, I saw. I didn't see it,
I didn't see it,
but there's like little pictures.
I have to go see it again in order to confirm that. You know, you know, Spider-Man comes back. Everybody freaking comes back. Rescue, everybody. Rescue comes out. I freaked out about that. I was like, oh crap, oh shit. Then Ant-Man burst out with Hulk and
the Iron
Rocket
Patriot.
and the Iron Patriot, because he's got that new Iron Patriot suit. And then you pretty much have that whole, like the whole Avengers cast, like everybody you've seen that could fight that died.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah.
Wasp. Black
Panther, Doctor Strange, the whole wizards,
the Asgardians,
Korg Meek, Spider-Man, of course.
Spider-Man.
You know, pretty much everybody in the MCU. Yeah. So they come out of these portals, and then Captain America calls out to Mjolnir, and then he's like, Avengers,
assemble.
And it was just this crazy scene. I remember the theater went crazy. You get Rescue and Iron Man having their thing. You see Drax stabbing Cole Obsidian in the back. He's just a bunch of amazing scenes. Thor and Captain America having that funny moment where he grabs Stormbreaker. He's like, no. You have the little one.
Yep, you get the downgrade.
And then Spider-Man hugs, comes to talk to Tony, and Tony hugs Spider-Man. And, you know, just a really emotional scene right there. So, pretty much just this amazing battle. They try to play keep away from the Infinity Gauntlet, the Nano Gauntlet from Thanos from 2014. And then, all of a sudden, Wanda comes out. She's like, hey, you took everything from me. And Thanos is like, I don't even know you. She's like, you will. So then, which causes her to use her powers, and then Thanos is just like, you know what? Aim all missiles, start shooting at the ground. And then, who says it? Corvus Glaive? He's like...
But our troops...
And then he's like, just do it, just fire. And I swear a Nike commercial just popped in my head. I was like, Thanos, just do it.
Oh my God.
So they start shooting at the ground, and then, like, you know, the lake or the ocean, wherever the Avengers HQ is coming in, and they're all going to get washed up. Doctor Strange does his magic stuff, so he's just that's pretty much Doctor Strange in Endgame, just holding up water. Yeah. That's pretty much what he does the whole battle.
But, I mean, he did have a big role in Infinity War. So,
yeah. So what happens next is...
Captain Marvel
just comes in casually. He's like, hey, you know what? This big spaceship is bothering you, so I took care of it.
Fights Thanos.
Before she fights Thanos, she gets the Infinity Gauntlet the Nano Gauntlet from Peter. And then he's like, I don't know how you're going to get it through all that. And then all of a sudden, this A-Force like teaser just in the middle of the Avengers Endgame comes out. Fan servicey, yes. Did I like it? Yes. Do I see it happening in Phase 4? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. So she tries to take it all the way to the Quantum Realm Tunnel, which I actually forgot to say is Ant-Man and what's-her-face? The Wasp. Start up for them to return the stones back to the original time. Which was in the
van that he came out of.
Oh, yeah. So Thanos throws his double-edged spear and blows it up, which leads to the final battle of the battle. Sorry, my sinuses are all out of whack now. I'm dying now. So Captain Marvel fights Thanos. She gets knocked out of the screen by the Power Stone. Thor and Captain America try coming to save in the day. They can't do it. And then Tony just looks at Doctor Strange like, hey, man, this is the one that you said out of 14 million, huh? And we're about to lose. And then he's like, Doctor Strange points up the number one finger, and then Tony's, I guess he got the hint, I got to do this myself. So he goes, he tries to fight Thanos, can't, he's not that strong, but he does outsmart him.
Mm-hmm.
Because Thanos literally almost snapped like 5 times in that little scene, and I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. Captain Marvel stopped him from snapping the first 2 times, then Thor, then Cap.
But then finally...
When that final scene, man, where he's like, I'm inevitable, and he snaps. Dude, I legit thought he had the stones. I was like, oh, shit. And then it just clanks. And then you turn to Tony, and he's like... He hits all the power and everything, and you just see how much power is in that gauntlet, that his suit is literally just melting away with all the power in that. And he literally musts out the last few words, and he's like, and I am Iron Man, and snaps his fingers and literally decimates Thanos and his whole army. I was freaking out that whole scene. I don't know if you heard me. But I was just like, okay, but where is he? Yeah. Where is he? Where is he? I was like, where is he? And then you just see him on the floor, and he's literally two-faced, pretty much, because everything is burned on one side his suit is gone and everything. Peter comes, and he's like, hey, we did it. And I guess it was a slow realization for Peter, because he's like, Mr. Stark, we did it. And then he starts freaking out a little bit. But Peter wasn't even the first one there. It was War Machine, and War Machine just grabs his head. And War Machine didn't even say anything. I think War Machine already knew. He's like, crap. And then Peter came. He's like, we did it. Then he started panicking, and then Pepper comes.
You know what would have been sadder than Pepper? Cap.
No, yeah. So rescue Pepper. She comes, and she's just like, it's okay. We're going to be okay. You could rest now. And literally the most saddest thing ever. It made me cry. I'm not going to lie. Like, literally, man, tears came out of my eyes. All you see is him grabbing onto her. And then she's like, you could rest now. And she kisses him. The chest light goes off. And his arm falls. And that's it. Then you see the reaction of Thor and Cap, and they both have tears in their eyes. And you're not going to freaking lie to me and say that Thor does not have tears in his eyes. They both have tears in their eyes, which I hated it that they killed off my favorite character. It makes a lot of sense. It's still recording.
Oh, okay.
It makes a lot of sense. Big character development for Iron Man, because in the first Avengers movie, Steve Rogers tells Iron Man, you're not the one that's going to be making the sacrificing play. You're not that type of person.
Yeah.
And Tony Stark sacrificed himself.
Proves him wrong.
No, yeah. So you go through a whole sad montage. The funeral. Tony Stark pretty much telling his daughter Morgan in a hologram that he pre-recorded. He's like, I love you tons. I love you 3,000. Saddest time. I cried again because I was just like, damn it. And then, they return the stones. And this is Dylan's favorite part because Steve Rogers goes back in time to return the stones and comes back as an old man. So he lived his life with Peggy Carter and gives the shield to Falcon to become the new Captain America.
I'm not being racist or anything.
He just does not want Falcon to be the next Captain America.
Yeah, I wanted it to be Bucky because in the comics...
So did I. I did want Bucky to be Captain America. I'm not going to lie. But I do understand why they did it.
No, don't get me wrong. I understand too, but...
Who wants a secret assassin to be the next Captain America? Yeah. But yeah. And that's pretty much how the movie ends.
Yeah.
You get those amazing end credits with the signatures of the original 6.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of it, you just hear metal clinking for the original Iron Man when he builds the Mark 1. And that's it. No post-credit scenes, no nothing. So literally, you guys don't have to wait I say wait because you get to see really cool not post credits, really cool credits for the original 6. I love this movie. Like I said in my previous video, probably my favorite movie of all time now.
Oh yeah, hands down.
Hands down, better than any of the Transformers movies that I loved, but Endgame is probably my favorite now. And it doesn't even feel like 3 hours, guys. That's the thing.
Oh no.
No, yeah. Big time doesn't feel like 3 hours.
But
did you love it?
oh, hands down, dude.
What would you give it out of 10?
Dude, it broke the scale.
Pretty
Pretty obvious.
Pretty much. Honestly, my favorite movie of all time, Dylan's favorite movie probably of all time. I don't think anything is going to be beating this movie out of that list.
That's going to be years before it'll ever even...
No, yeah. I miss Tony Stark already. I miss Iron Man, my favorite character again. And I cannot wait for more MCU movies to come out. The journey ends here for pretty much most of the original 6. Tony, Natasha, pretty much Cap. You could say Captain America's pretty much done.
He's old.
He could become Commander Rogers, like you were saying.
My favorite version of Cap.
But who knows? He's pretty much out of it. Hulk, with that injury from the Infinity Stones.
I don't think it's gonna heal.
I think Hulk is a heal factor. He has that heal factor in the comic books.
Yeah.
So I think he's gonna heal in time. I don't think it's gonna be right away, but I think he's gonna heal in time. Because next up in Phase 4, that's gonna be the next podcast. You guys better listen up. Phase 4, we will be discussing on what my thoughts, what his thoughts will be on Phase 4. I think X-Men will be coming out. That's what I'm saying already.
X-Men and Fantastic Four.
No, yeah. Alrighty, guys. Well, that was our spoiler talk for Avengers Endgame. We just went through the whole movie pretty much. Probably took up an hour. If you guys stayed with us, greatly appreciate it. You guys are number one. My name is Chris. I've been your host. My co-host, Dylan.
Make sure to drop a like on this video. Leave us some comments whether you like the movie or not. Tell us what type of topics you want to hear on this channel. Obviously geek, or we could talk about other things too.
Yeah, we could talk about politics, I guess.
We're not smart enough. We'll try. But what else?
Yeah, you
our
know
Patreon.
the ball, right?
Stop. Please support us on our Patreon.
I'll leave a link down below. I don't know if I did it right, but you guys could tell me down below. Just drop a comment and be like, you didn't do it right, you dumb fuck.
But please support us. We'll greatly appreciate it. With you helping us in our Patreon, what it does is it helps us buy more equipment.
Yeah, because right now we're pretty much lowballing this right now.
Oh yeah,
and like super lowball. Like I don't even want to tell you guys what we're recording on. But if you guys support us on our Patreon, we could definitely get more equipment, give you better quality podcast content, videos, and again, leave a like and a comment if you guys do want to see that Professor Hulk breakfast eating challenge. That is something that me and him want to do.
Please.
Even if it takes you guys a while, we'll probably be promoting it for a while. But if you guys can help us out, whatever you guys can. If you guys can't, just subscribe and leave a like. That helps me out a lot. That helps us out a lot. You know, I feel great knowing that I have subscribers and I have a little fan base.
Yeah.
And I thank you guys for sticking with us for, I think it's already an hour.
Probably.
But it would mean a lot to us. We want to continue to pump out this podcast.
We enjoy making content for you guys.
No, yeah,
we don't do
much.
it for us. Well, we actually do love making content
No,
too.
yeah.
But it's more for your guys' enjoyment, and the feedback that you give us, whether negative or positive, will help us better
ourselves for this podcast, for future videos that do come out. What I want to see in the future is not only us being creators or anything like that. I don't want to just be like, hey, you know what, listen to us and forget so-and-so, forget about this YouTuber, forget about the... No, what I want to do is literally what I want to do.
Collabs.
I want to do collaborations. I want to see fan bases join till all are one. That is my favorite saying from Transformers.
Whatever it takes.
And whatever it takes. Whatever it takes till we are all one. that's what I see. This podcast, I do want to say, the Weekly Juice is special to us, and we do want to continue it. Um, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but this podcast is dedicated to my late uncle. His name is Hugo
Our
Davalos.
late uncle. Yeah.
He wanted to make this podcast with us. Unfortunately, a few months ago, he did pass on. So, us doing this podcast
Is a tribute.
is a tribute for him, and this is something that we're going to continue to do with or without the proper equipment. And that's what I just want to let you guys off with. I just appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys have a great day. My name is Chris.
My name is Dylan.
We'll see you guys on the next podcast. All right, guys? You guys have a good one, okay?